someone like I want to play, like say at the moment I'm trying to play Tracer, but I used to play Cass last season, so I kind of have some understanding about how to play Cass. So if I need to swap, I'm just trying to get into a position where I have like a few characters that are up to standards. So like I'm not just all focused on one hero.
Right, right. And I guess like the last thing to ask is what do you think about when you're playing Tracer?
I'm thinking about backline most of the time. Is like how can I just deal with their supports? How can I just bully their supports? That's the main thing, but then it just depends on the rest of the comp, and I'll try and figure something out.
Right. And I think that's a good sort of going or reaching point into talking about the difference between these comps here. What are some things that you're looking to do primarily? I mean, sure, you can go into backline to this comp, right? What are some other things that you can potentially do, and why would you want to do those certain things?
So I know on defense because I realized like, they have quite a divey comp. It's quite meta. So I think I wasn't too confident in just going straight backline every time, and I was more focused on just like denying space from the DPS and
Right.
just controlling high ground and stopping them from rotating.
Right. What's the advantage of doing that? Why might you want to do that with your comp?
It just gives like my soldier more space to look for angles. My hazard just has more space to play into their tank and the support, and my supports are just safer as well.
Yeah, right. So like when looking at this comp, like looking okay, what happens if we trade backlines, right? If their tracer goes into our backline and we go into their backline, what's likely going to happen? We probably lose that trade every single time based on how squishy our backline is primarily. And also, if our backline is able to live, primarily our Mercy and our Sojourn, the two characters that are different on our team compared to their team, we're going to get more value over time. So the key thing I'm really looking out for here is how good is our scouting, right? Are we able to find Genji, Tracer, Hazard in the pre-fight? Because what these guys will try and do is path in ways that are really hard for you to disrupt and prevent them from again going on top of your Sojourn, Mercy, etc. That's the primarily one of the biggest things I'm looking for. The second thing is how good are we actually winning the duel? What duels are we taking, and are they in our advantage? Right. So a key important thing is not just mirroring their Genji or their Tracer, but making sure that we're at an advantage when we're doing so. And one of the biggest things for that is are we dueling them in LOS of our Sojourn, Kiri, or our Hazards? I don't want to see you 2v1 these characters or take a 1v2 basically, right? It doesn't have to be against
Yeah.
these two characters specifically. It could be Tracer and their Kiri, right? Whatever the case may be. But that's one of the biggest things to understand. And if you are in that situation, you need to leave or not get forced out easily is kind of the big thing. And last thing is after you've lived a dive, so after these guys are out basically and they've got resources out, who are you going on to and how reachable are their backline basically? Because that's when you can start reaching for these guys. Is either if you've got pulse bomb, or if they're in a bad position, or if these guys aren't that dangerous anymore because they just use cooldowns, right? Basically, when there's a trigger to go on their backline, then I'm fine with you going on their backline. But we'll see how it pans out. And yeah. Okay. So comp is fairly meta. Okay. We're just playing left side. Okay, sure. Fine. No deflects. Sure. It's fine. Nothing crazy here. I mean, again, you're not going to commit for the kill, so I don't mind you taking a little bit of damage here, and of course, you can pay out his dash. So, this is all fine. No Suzu, sure. Okay. How's this clearly going in? Okay. Okay. So, like, okay, I was going to say I was going to watch more before I say anything, right? I feel like this is already important because there's a big opportunity cost by going in this train here. So first thing is, why do you decide to go into this train, and what are some drawbacks of doing so?
I think I'm just not too aware of the rotations on this map, especially on this first point, and seeing as how they were set up on high ground, and I think I just noticed that my hazard was going in, so I thought this was the fastest way to get into the fight.
Right, right, right. What I mean, as a result, right? What might happen? What might happen to your character? What might the enemy team do to you by if they know you're playing in the train?
they might just push me because it's quite isolated and it's really long corridor, so I don't
Yeah,
have a lot of
yeah.
space to move around. I might just get pushed and poked down.
It's very reminiscent of the Rialto first point attack bridge, where you essentially, again, it's super narrow and there's no cover, there's no space to move around. You can't really blink anywhere. That preserves your blinks basically. The only blink option you have is to triple blink out and leave. It's the only option that you have. So your uptime's going to be extremely low. And again, I think the only reason you're doing this is because your Has is going in. He's currently engaging or doing something to the enemy team right now. But to me, it doesn't look like your Has is hard engaging this. It just looks like he's just zoning off the enemy team right now. And I think when we look at triggers to engage or triggers to go for backline, I wouldn't necessarily say that this is exactly one of them. To me, again, he's just zoning. That's all he's doing. Just drawing attention from these guys. So these guys can swing right, can swing wide. They can drop under and swing this corner super wide and get good damage. That's all he's really doing. For you, again, this is just too dangerous to make a move. And I mentioned there's a big opportunity cost here, right? Where could you be going instead had you not gone train?
Probably gone below and then just played around the stairs and just watch for the supports and stuff and just take a good angle.
Yeah,
Seeing
right.
as how who's that there by the fire station truck?
The Wu
The Wu
Yang.
Yang could have gone on the Wu Yang. He split.
Essentially, yeah, right. So like I think the point being here is it gives you more flexibility with how you move, right? Because you can go super wide. I wouldn't suggest doing this because you don't need to. But you can do this rotation here, for example. You can come over here most likely, and then play this room or play the fire truck and go into the Wu Yang, right? What else could you do from here? The Wu
Not
Yang
too
is one
sure.
option. Say again, sorry.
I was thinking the stairs, but maybe that's just not a good idea because I'm just 1v4ing there.
Oh, these stairs here. Yeah,
I could
I
have I could
don't.
have forced point, I guess.
Yeah, right. So like you can force point. What does that do now?
They just need to turn around and come towards me, and it just gives my team more space to walk up.
Exactly, right? So like I've got like a 3-step thing that about playing about essentially playing a more ranged comp into a divier comp called Spa. But honestly, I've kind of reworked it a little bit. So the 3 stages I've kind of reworked it into is disruption, absorption, and then rotation. So disruption is what we're at right now. It's like how can we disrupt these characters such that they don't get an opportunity to even dive our social to begin with. And one of these things is forcing points, right? Because as you kind of mentioned, right? If you force point, somebody on this team needs to come and match you. And that means that they're not going on to Sojin, right? And if they really want to force you out, we'll have to commit 2 people at least to come and get you out, which is again more than reasonable, right? That's a really good assumption. The forcing point is one of those things. Another one of those things is again just matching them out, right? As we kind of mentioned earlier. Obviously, making sure that you're not being at a massive disadvantage here. But right now, forcing point is absolutely one of those things that we can absolutely do. And going backline is technically a form of disruption here, right? You can go on their Wu Yang because again, it's going to draw attention away. If you're their tracer and you see an enemy tracer going on top of your Wu Yang, you're probably going to match that tracer out. So as long as you can either play this slowly or not get forced out by doing this, that's more than reasonable to do. Absorbing is really just for your backline, to be honest, it's only on you. Again, just making sure you're not getting forced out. And then rotation is just pushing forward, that's all it really means. So after we've absorbed their dive, how can we push forward and rotate forward? But yeah, we'll see how this pans out, because it's not looking it's not looking terrible so far, but it's not looking amazing either. Okay, big scary hazard player. Yeah, and for some reason they just kind of this is awful, right? Like this is
Yeah, they
masters,
just
right?
walk off.
Like this is insane. Like how the hell are we doing this? Like why are 5 people why are we all omega stacked Chungus? Why are we Chungus omega stacked? I'm starving because I don't even. This is incredible. But yeah, this is insane. I don't know why my Genji's not over here with my Kiriko, just marking this angle, dropping from here, right? Pressuring the Has. I've got no clue. So you're getting away with it here, and I see this a lot with players all the time too. Is you can do something that in principle isn't that great, or in principle shouldn't really work out, but it still might get rewarded as it is right now because you're in a lower elo, or because you're in a game where the enemy team don't really have many brain cells. And right now we're currently seeing that. So yeah, this is like again the optimal thing you could do in theory if the enemy team haven't got brain cells. But again, we could be by the fire truck, we could be by the left side, we could be by the mega on point, for example, and we could be forcing it. Instead of coming through the stop right statue or the stop right train, which honestly we should be getting forced out here anyways. Genji should know that we're here, considering we poked them up beforehand. Um, but yeah, and actually speaking of disruption, right? Like if I zoom out. Alright, not that. Zoom out here. But the only person going in right now is their Tracer. Right? And you can see why that's not great. And that's primarily because of what your Has did. Right? Like, your Has is like literally 1v4ing, holding these people off. Right? He was never hard engaging these guys on the high on to begin with. He's just holding these people off. That's all he's doing. To allow your Sojourn to walk. And in that situation, the Kiri and your Soj managed to get decent value onto that Tracer. So now, you've kind of absorbed their dive pressure, right? And I would be expecting these guys to walk backwards. So now we're rotating. We're trying to look forward here. Maybe force up their hazard, right? Try and get a connection to their backline. Here's a force point here. That's fine too. We'll see what happens here. Good. The left, good. Sure. Yeah, okay. I see this a lot. With Tracer players. 1, 2, 3. Right, what's the issue with this?
Just use them on cooldowns.
Exactly.
I don't
Right.
fight.
So and there's a fine line here because I don't mind you using blinks to reach a target. That's reasonable. You don't want to be slow. I'm not gonna say to you to walk around like a permanently all the time with 3 blinks on CD. But conversely, I don't want you engaging onto someone or fighting someone when you're down all your blinks because obviously that's going to make you easier to force out, it's going to reduce your uptime, and you're going to get less value over time. So generally, like, if you can use like 1 blink to get to a location and making sure that you can engage onto these targets with at least 2 blinks, ideally 2.5, then that's pretty much optimal, basically, right? Even something here would have been nice, but yeah, we're down to 2/3 of a blink here in the bottom right, so not particularly great here. Again, you should be fine because their frontline's dead. But yeah.
I wasn't expecting to go on the 2 here. I was just kind of forcing them out.
Right,
Just
right.
trying to be a presence to stop them from walking and helping the Has.
Right. Now in fairness, speaking of the Has, he does actually kill and trade with Kiriko. It's not a big deal though. It's not like again I'm gonna say to you to force them out because their Genji Tracer were already dead to begin with. Before the Has even killed your Kiriko. So it's not something that I'm gonna essentially harp on. But it is like a sign to at least worth noting because again, if you don't force out the majority of their frontliners, this will happen consistently. But you're doing fine here relatively from a macro perspective. But yeah. Okay. Shoot Has. Sure. Okay. Okay. Honestly, from a pathing perspective, there isn't much I can say here else, really. Like, again, you could potentially go through here and try and reach their backline, but again, you'd be giving up point for that. So I don't mind if by forcing point, that's okay. Only small things again, obviously getting hit by the Wu Yang shot there, which is a bit unfortunate. It's fine. I wasn't empowered. Okay, nice. Okay, and there should be hopefully straightforward. Hopefully. Get up. Coolio. Alright. How much left does this map have you got? We have 6 minutes of this map left, so I'm assuming you get full held in 1 second.
No, I think we held up to this point. We get almost to the second, and then I think we lose.
Yeah, so yeah, you get held. So yeah, you get held in a second. Okay, cool. Because you'd have 6 minutes here basically. So we'll see how this pans out. Okay. Okay. Sure. I don't hate this pathing. I think this is fine, right? So like, if you can't clear their Genji, right, this is fine. Or you can't clear the frontlines, this is okay to do, right? Now, there is a small, tiny bit, a tiny thing that you miss, right? What is the opportunity cost? Or what else could you have done here, basically?
I could have gone to the stairs. You know, like where this Wu Yang is, just to the right of him. You have those stairs there. I could have played there, and then I'm kind of like in a better angle. I think above, I don't have much impact until they walk backwards, and they can just walk up for free, and then I'm just useless.
Right, so like, that's like there's 2 key things there, right? I think this spot here is a little bit hard to get to, and I wouldn't really commit to going here, because again, you're gonna have to commit at least 2 blinks to get here, in which
Yeah.
case you're gonna get forced out. So I would never really go here anyways. If you are gonna flank, this one's fine to do. But again, you're right. Like, you know, they can ignore you, and then they can immediately walk forward and then trade backlines, and then you're immediately at a disadvantage, right? So what I'm also thinking of is this trace right now is literally right in front of you, and all you need to do right now is look. That's it. Look at the enemy team. Look at where they're staging, right? Are there Genji? Is there frontline in a position to where I can force them out? And here, I'd say yes, right? To an extent, of course. Be a little bit careful when you're shooting Tracer here. But I wouldn't mind double blinking over here and playing this room and then 1v1 a Genji. That's fine. It's a 1-on-1 duel. I wouldn't mind shooting Tracer here a little bit before you blink to the left side. That's all fine. But again, I would be cautious about going left side here. Because if I'm the enemy team right now, I will just ignore you. And I will trade backlines. And I will win every time. Be a little bit careful when you do this. Luckily, Genji commits onto you, so nice. But again, Riang's also taking an impact here. So your micro's going to become important, but not getting your reforced out. See how you take this duel. Okay?
I do get it forced out.
Yeah. So like,
This was just terrible from me. I
what?
recalled having full health.
Yeah. What are the issues with how you use Blink, sir? And where could you have blinked him instead, and why?
Well, I used my blinks without really shooting. I was just blinking to get around him, and I
Hmm.
wasn't getting much value out of like the distance and stuff.
Exactly
I think
right.
I could
So
have just reset here. I could have gone down that subway tunnel and just looked for a better angle because the
yeah,
Genji's
yeah.
just pressuring me here.
Right. The key mentality that I want with your blinks right now is blink to a position where it's hard for the enemy team to force you out, or specifically the enemy Genji to force you out. That could be in the subway. That's fine, right? It could be here, right? So that could be fine as well. It could be down here. That's hard. It's hard for you to be forced out from there. So move to a position where it's hard for you to be forced out. And also, your blinks look very sporadic. And what I mean by that, it looks like you're trying to avoid dash, but this guy, this Genji player, who's got a billion IQ, for some reason, commits dash onto you before he even again engages onto you here. So again, it's like you're blinking to avoid dash. It looks like to me at least, but again, he's already used it. And right now when we're fighting Genji, our blinks have gone from literally dead ass from like 53 seconds, right? From 52 actually. So we have 2.5 blinks here from 54 seconds, right? 1, 2, 3. We use all our blinks in 2.5 to 3 seconds. Not particularly efficient, I think you can agree.
Yeah.
So and I think this is just the key thing here is like what you're thinking cognitively, right? Like, I guess you know this game's fairly recent, you might remember, but even if you don't, right? What actually are you thinking about in this moment right now?
I think I just have a habit of blinking around people a lot.
Hmm.
Like in
Hmm.
hindsight, I could play this 100 times better because
Exactly right. Yeah.
from what happens, the Kiri comes up here as well, and they just 2v1 me off.
Right. Right.
Like that's the hard thing for me is figuring out like I can think of half the stuff that I need to do better, like posts, but doing it in the game is hard for me because I can't think like that.
Right. I think that there's a few things. I get that a lot, right? And it's kind of what I wanted to get onto because you like looking back at it in the replay viewer, even from yourself, right? This stuff becomes, oh yeah, I should have gone. I should have done X, Y, Z basically, right? But in the game, it's hard to sort of do. So there's like two things I say to players. The first thing is like you need to have a template or like a mental template slash schema or a routine, right? And schema is like the fancy psychological word for this. Basically, an example would be: say you go to a restaurant 20 times, you have a expectation or a schema of how things are going to go when you go to that restaurant for the 21st time because you've already been there so many times. So what I'm saying here basically is whenever you're playing against this comp or you're playing against this Genji or you're in a situation to where you're actually being actively forced out by their Genji and by their not just their Kiriko, right? But you just saw the entire enemy team, right? You should have a schema or a template about how you approach these duels here, right? Before you even fight this Genji. And that changes how you approach this, right? Because again, naturally you're gonna be like, okay, I'm not gonna actually duel this guy because I'm gonna be at a disadvantage here. Even forget this Riang wave, right? Or forget this Riang orb. I deadass just saw the entire enemy team literally a second ago before I blinked here, and they saw me. I should be the one getting forced out here, and that's fine, right? You can draw two people's attention away, right? This guy or this guy or this guy and this guy, but you can't be getting forced out for it. So it's kind of having that template or schema when you're playing into certain comps. And again, that schema is literally, you know, the whole spar thing I kind of added here, right? You could even say that's a schema. But yeah, that's kind of the first thing, right? The second thing is having a visual cue that makes you think or refer back to that template. So here, the visual cue is just Genji dashing onto you. That's literally just it. Second he goes onto you, you need to be immediately dashing away or blinking away. And that's all cognitive. That isn't like, again, you need to then to like take time to think, oh, what do I do against this Genji, right? You should immediately know by visual cues, by the fact that he's dashing onto you, and by the fact that you see the entire enemy team and they see you, that you should be leaving away immediately. And that's the key visual cue. If you look into like habit formation, so like there's a book by James Clear called Atomic Habits. Basically there are like 4 things about how you form habits, both good and bad. You have a cue, you get some kind of craving, and then you get a reward for it, and then you repeat the habits. So I guess the key advice he gave isn't that applicable to Overwatch. The bad habits was like making sure that you make the bad cue as least visually, like you don't see it as much, basically. Which is impossible to do in Overwatch because you can see everything, right? So I guess the key thing there is making sure that the cues that you see are, all the good cues for the good habits are really visible to you. In this case, is the Genji, right? Because the second you see him, I know that again, a trace player that's highly experienced would be blinking away and not be getting forced out here, or not panicking out their blinks, just to avoid a Genji. And also mention here as well, if you want to avoid the Genji, you can just do that by playing here, you know? Because what's the issue with blinking here from a cover perspective? Ooh,
I'm not really like, I haven't gotten rid of LOS, so like when I do blink back, the Curie has a really easy opportunity to shoot me. If I'm playing behind that little thing on the left, I do have the ability to block LOS, wait for a blink, and just try and blink away if possible.
exactly, right? Like it's just more cover, more distance, more time. Think and be patient. I always say, whenever you're panicking on Tracer, all your micro goes out the window. Your blink management, the way you use cover, your tracking, even your recall and just wasting it all the time, all that goes out the window when you stop panicking on Tracer. And the key thing to stop, but to prevent the panic to begin with, is time. And you can give yourself time by distance and cover, right? And this little, whatever this thing is called, will do that for you. That's kind of the big thing there, right? If you want to avoid the Genji, which is fine, right? You should be wanting to avoid the Genji here, absolutely. Then playing the little, again, whatever this thing's called, is ideal for that. But yeah,
So something I could do, maybe just like slow down my blinks completely and just take time to think where I'm actually blinking to.
yeah, right.
I
Again,
guess
it's kind of like it will, over time. So I say it's a lot with cover usage, but over time, when you duel characters over and over and over again, and you start compartmentalizing the duels in your head about, okay, where could I blink to instead? It's like next time. What I'm saying here is next time you duel this Genji, you're going to blink to here next time, most likely, because we've talked through it a lot, or through this engagement a lot here. So you're probably gonna go in next time, basically, and that's gonna happen over and over and over and over again. The more and more duels you take against, again, different maps, different situations, different characters, right? Stuff like that. Key one I always give as well is, when you're Genji playing into Echo, you'll the way you approach a duel into Echo is drastically different compared to how you duel characters normally. Because normally you dash in, get some good shots in, and then you deflect out. But against Echo, that's not going to work because she can beam through your deflect. The way you duel Echo is a lot differently. You want to save your dash instead, and actually your deflect is actually kind of, it's almost the other way around almost. But when you're playing against Echo as Genji, your pathing becomes way more important, and making sure you can reach certain angles or certain positions without needing to use your dash basically. And again, that's visual cues, right? When a Genji goes into an Echo, they visually understand. Okay, I'm playing into an Echo now. This is how I'm going to play the game. Basically, I take a different approach to it, and that's by, again, them visually seeing Echo, right? About how they approach their cooldowns. And it's a similar thing here with how you use cover. It's just going to be over time, basically, how you use it. Because again, next time you play Midtown, you're probably going to be using here, probably going to be going here, right? And not blinking back and forth here for practically no reason.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. And then you're right, you do get reinforced. Honestly, with the being forced out here, I have a saying. What's it saying? Oh yeah. Bad positioning will force bad cooldowns. So I use it with tanks a lot. As you can imagine, right? If you're playing Orisa and you're playing out in open space, you're gonna have to use Fortify. And here on Tracer, right? Like, the recoil here is actually, technically, it's reasonable if you think about it, because these two characters are really close to you, you have no blinks, and they can one-shot you. But the point here really is that you should never be in this position to begin with to get reforced out. And that's again the saying, bad positioning will force bad cooldowns. And right now, you are
Yeah.
certainly in a bad position. So
I
yeah.
think sometimes what happens is, there's that major perk with the recall that gives you two blinks.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
I
yeah.
have a habit formed of getting saved because of those two blinks. That
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
I just like monkey brain and just expect to have two blinks when I really shouldn't, and
Yeah,
think I was gonna live.
it's a crutch. Yeah, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because even though I haven't like directly mentioned that with Tracer players, it's something that I've absolutely seen in terms of how they approach the game. It's like, okay, yeah, I've got two extra blinks, I can greed it almost and get away with things because again I've got those two extra blinks. So yeah, it is interesting that you do actually mention that. But yeah, I think I guess the key thing to mention is, or to break is, A, again, you're actually aware of that habit being formed, right? And again, the second thing is, how can I make or play this out essentially, such that I haven't even got to use recall to begin with? Because you're kind of relying on that as a clutch, or as a crutch, rather than, again, good cover usage, for example, or good actual blink usage, for example. And here is looking a bit cooked, I'm not gonna lie. And not to mention, what happens in the top right?
Oh yeah, their trace is just on my back line, and
Yeah,
I'm just doing nothing.
exactly, right? We could even go third person right now. Right, back over here. Go third person. And see, again, the opportunity cost. Right, what do we do instead? Okay, not gonna, okay, this is just the most idiotic, okay. Not, honestly, and to be fair, that's not entirely on you.
But then, considering that the hazard walked in for free, their tracer is a good angle here.
Right, exactly. Again, we could have been here instead, right? We could have double linked over here. Dueled
Yeah, I
Genji,
could have
right?
just denied the tracer.
Exactly. And either this Genji fucks off and you get the space, or he dulls you, in which case you probably win that with good cover usage, right? And then he fucks off anyways. And then again, you can dual tracer from here, right? Drop down, maybe take this angle here, for example, that could be okay, right? Something along those lines. But yeah, because Mercy was a bit dumb, right? And you do draw attention here, to be fair. Like, you do draw two people away. So it's not entirely on you, but I think the key thing here to take away is, again, how important it is also their frontliners actively instead of trying to reach their backline, and also making sure that, again, our uptime when we are in these 1v2s is as high as we can. So again, we can maximize the amount of time or the amount of resources that they waste. Whenever I coach Moira or DPS Moira, it's a very similar thing where you need to be 1v2ing on DPS Moira to get any value. 1v1ing is not enough. And the key thing on that character is again sustain. How long can I stay on an angle for? But yeah. Okay. Okay.
I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest here. I don't understand what this next minute is. The Genji chased me around for a minute straight, and to be honest, I don't know how I lived.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay. 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 Yeah, so like this dash here, like where you like get dash one. Honestly, you should be able to outrun a Genji. Most of the time. Yeah, dash one, so you've got no blinks there, so it's not much you can do about that. Okay. Sure. Sure. Fine. I'll maneuver him.
At this point, yeah, I just felt pretty useless because the fight was going on.
Yeah, yeah.
No input.
Going back line, forced out. That's just like a timing issue. Your team's already dead, right? AFK behind the back line. Or what could you have done here instead of engaging?
Just get set up maybe.
Yeah, right.
Just
Stage.
a good angle.
Yeah, yeah. Because they have no idea where you are right now. Zero clue. So stage left side. Just stage in a position to where no one can see you. So either staging from here could be okay, or you could go through here and go through this left side here as well. That's fine as well. Seen one choice played this before. But just stage out the LOS. Nothing crazy. Okay. Okay, and you can start there. 13 HP, I think you get to. Yeah, 13. Okay. And just chasing you lots. Okay. Okay. Honestly, this is just part thing where you should go to, right? So like here, just go underneath. Go underneath, right? Do drop here, get the mega, go underneath. Fine. That's just part thing. Nothing crazy. 7-8, you do get. You're very lucky. I'm not gonna lie. Like 7 HP there,
Okay.
and now you get to 2 HP, which is insane.
I got stuck on that little ledge.
Yeah,
I
double
tried
back,
to
that's
break it
fine.
and it just went straight past it.
Yeah. This is really weird. This is really weird.
Yeah, I
Ish.
don't understand how this is mastered.
Sure. Okay. You're essentially allowing your entire team to try and force. Like you're not doing it. You technically are doing nothing here, but the fact that the Genji's chasing you and Wu Yang is looking at you, you are drawing attention away. But again, I'd much prefer you actively forcing out their front lines, um, rather than
Yeah,
doing this.
I
Honestly.
think at this point I was just like the Genji's doing nothing, so it's kind of a 4v4 at this point.
Right, right. Pulse good, no issue. Fine. Again, you're able to go for backline if you've got pulse. That's fine. Nice. Ah, it's really unlucky that you get catching your mercy. Any Michael could have done that. Any Michael. Oh, the wave. Ah. So, I've coached Trace into Young before. There's like the most important bit of Michael when you're playing into Wu Yang is dodging the wave. You need to dodge it. Because if you don't, your movement gets locked. He creates distance. You become infinitely easy to force out, and you take damage, and he gets heal lamp, right? So obviously here it doesn't really matter because he got stuck, right? Like he's dead. But generally you need to avoid the wave as much as you can, and right now you have a blink to do so. So simply, where can you blink into Wu Yang, or to avoid the wave rather?
Just go left or right maybe,
Yeah,
because he's
right.
aiming it directly at me.
Exactly. Keep it simple. Keep it like there's no need to overcomplicate this, right? Just one over here, boom, avoid the wave. We keep cover. We don't take damage. We still keep a good angle here. Not to mention, right? That could be beautiful. But yeah, sadly, we get hit by the wave. Not ideal. Okay, Genji going on Kukudas, okay? Honestly, not too much else we could have done there. I think the Genji was already deflecting, you chased him out, he was 1 HP. That's fine, nothing crazy. Okay. That's when you are going on backline, that is like a really important micro. Again, same thing when you're playing Genji and Tiako and you have to care about beam. When you're playing Trace into Wu Yang, it's the wave. It's by far the most important thing that you need to dodge.
Right, yeah. I
Okay.
think here I knew that we were only 2, so I was just focused on getting Carl.
Yeah, this is fine.
Pushed up a bit.
Your hazard just died, yeah. So either stage around him in time or make sure they can't see you when you're staging. Sure, and this is okay too. Leave. This is not where I want to leave. Where can you go to?
Just continue down that stairway. I think I played this terribly. I blinked, punch, and completely missed the tracer.
Yeah.
To be honest, I shouldn't have been engaging there in the first place. I should have just been waiting.
Right, and again, this is the visual cue thing, right? Where we back up here. Oh, this is a 1v1. Oh, you just did the okay. You did the Cardinalson on Tracer, but I'll get to it in a moment. But again, to get back to my main point. Again, you're 1v1ing. This is okay. We're chilling. We're 1v1ing. We're chilling. Now we see Wu Yang. Immediately, the second you see this guy, we leave. Boom. We're gone. It's 1v2. We're out. We're gone. We're not doing this. Because we will lose this. Now there is one cardinal sin you do. Right. I'm gonna see if you can spot it. What's the bad thing that you do here?
So I think firstly, I should have just sprayed my entire mag. No point blinking at
Yeah.
that point. Second, I just misjudged the distance. So the punch was unnecessary and the blink was unnecessary.
Would you say if you didn't misjudge the distance, would the punch be necessary?
Probably not, because the tracer would just have a really clean shot. She probably has half her mag still, and
Yes,
she could just flick and one
yeah,
tap me.
yeah. So like, I hate blink melees. Blink melees are the devil. They are every single trace player I've coached, every single one, every single session I've done. I've had to go on this diatribe about how much I hate blink melees. Because this is why. This frame is exactly why. Where in this situation you miss it, right? So it's even worse. But even if you hit the melee, it doesn't matter because she's not gonna die because of it, right? She's basically full HP. You've got a mag left, right? You just said to me, oh yeah, she's gonna be shooting me the entire time, which she currently is, right? So like, there are so many bad things with blink melee. It's just like only do it if you can confirm a kill. Only do it if you can confirm a kill, or to confirm a recall force out, right? If again Tracer's 1 HP, you want to go for the melee, sure, I don't mind doing that, right? But you have to commit a CD, i.e. a blink. You have to commit positionally, i.e. out in open space, and you give their Tracer an opportunity to destroy you, and she currently is right now. So like this is this is what sells this duel here. It's this blink immediately, and I
Yeah,
hate it so much.
I
But
think I may have been told at some point that like when you're in a tracer 1v1, like blinking and punching is a good thing. So I don't know where I've heard that, but maybe
I
that's a terrible thing.
yeah, I don't know what the hell you might have heard that from. Maybe it's like a Tracer guide from like 2019. Maybe I have no clue.
I think it was
Um,
recent, but it was like some top 500 player, and I just found it on YouTube.
Okay, yeah, do not whoever that guy is. I'm sorry to break it to him, but like this is why it's terrible. Because again, we're seeing it right now. Why it's terrible. Like I don't need to say anything. I can just show not tell, right? I can show you why this is bad, and this is exactly why. In fact, he misses the other clip and blinks away immediately, right? But this is why you have to use 2 blinks there. Both your blinks, so many resources to do nothing, and it's like, why would you ever do this? You could just literally, as you said, right, just stand here and shoot the tracer and blink, double blink away, and then you're Bob's your uncle, you're completely fine. So this is why I just hate blinking these so often. It kills me.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see it at least once every VOD, and it's like, yeah. Again, I'm not gonna cry. I'm not,
Here,
honestly, I'm not gonna cry about that. It's bad. It's a dominoes thing from the bad
because
blinks.
of what happens here, I kind of when I watched back this squad, I thought maybe it would have been better to blink back main and just pray I live because the Genji and the Tracer instantly go on me here, and I have nothing to get away.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think blinking my bait is probably it's still really tough, right? Again, it's like there's pros and cons to everything here. I'm not gonna cry about you go main here. I'm not gonna cry about you going under. I'm not gonna cry about where you go to hit from here because the real mistake or the real cardinal sin was already committed 5 seconds ago. So yeah, again, it's like a dominoes thing where it's like it's really hard now because of what you did beforehand. Yeah. Okay. We'll see here. Okay, Casino's out, your Kiri dies, we're a bit late to the fight here, okay. Armor's completely fine, so what should you actually be doing here right now?
Personally, I think I should just take a second to analyze what's going on
Yes,
because I think I just
yes,
monkey brain and just shoot at whoever's in front
yes.
of me.
I love that, right? So like, I say this all the time with players in general. I say this to main supports all the time. But the key saying I think I have, or not the key saying, but like a rule or a principle I have is after you do an action, do an action, or after an event occurs, um, look around. And back to that visual cue thing about implementing this practically. Again, it's like this is your visual cue, right? After your Mercy Pops Valkyrie, after the Wu Yang does this funny little wave thing with his ultimates, right? That's an action. That's anything. So that gives you a prompt to look around. Another one that I have, which is less applicable to Tracer, because it's just harder to do, but it's after you use a cooldown. That's when you look around. Again, this one's better for Brig because Brig's less mechanical, so you're able to look around, and she's got so many CDs anyways. This one's really hard to do in Tracer because if you're using blinks, you're already engaging and you can't really look around anyways. This one's this general one about doing an action or seeing an event occur. It's a more general one. But yeah, like take the time to look around and look at who you can go on, right? I've got no idea where their Wu Yang is, but he might be killable. Who knows, right? And actually, if you think about it right now, no one on your team is that. I mean, maybe your Sojourn is, right? So I wouldn't actually mind going on top of the Tracer right now. But your Mercy's and Valk, your Sojourn's fairly okay-ish, right? But again, I don't know how tradable their Wu Yang is, right? If the Wu Yang's playing far away, sure, we can go for their Tracer. That's fine, I don't mind that, right? But again, having that glance to the left side, or having that glance to the left, is important for that awareness. So, we'll see what you end up doing here. So we never look, right? Now we're looking, right? At least we're doing the correct thing here, so to say, right? In other terms, right? But again, we could have had that quick glance to the left side there, could have gone to the Tracer, and now we would probably save the double blink over here, probably, right? Double blink over here, and then pop on here, right side if we want to, and catch their backline, right? We have so many flexible things we could do here.
Yeah, because my Haz is just 2v1ing their supports right now. So
yeah.
I just gotta help them.
Yeah. They were getting, yeah. So like, I don't think I have to explain why this is a little bit problematic. I think again, the frame shows everything that I need to say. We're right in front of Akiri, 55 HP, in no cover, and we have to use a blink to get hit. Right, it's a very scuffed engage. Whereas again, we could have just been here, and then oh look at this, right? Oh look at this. It's quite. I mean, Genji's coming back, right? So in fairness, he might match you out, right? But if he's not there, that's fine, right? Point being is that our staging's way better, way better. And this Genji goes on to you, that's okay, right? Because then you just match him out, you 1v1 him, etc. He's not going to be a Sojourn, that's fine. Yeah, of course, that would be a lot better than what you're doing right now. So, I guess the
So
key
like
thing.
maybe a habit I should fix is just like taking more time to
Mm,
set up instead of like trying to get in the fight instantly when something happens. Like even if I'm late, if I'm set up properly, it'll be better.
right, and what information do you need to get a good setup onto their backline?
I just need to be able to see them and know
Yeah,
what
yeah.
cooldowns they have and stuff.
I need to know. You need to know where they are, but you don't know where they are specifically, even right. Like if you know what they're they're playing this position on high ground, well that's easy, right? I can just stage around them, easy, right? Easy does it. So again, it's having you need that information. That it's that visual cue, that visual information that you need. They tell you, oh shit, I can actually path in this sort of manner around them. So yeah, that could have been quite nice. Okay, see here. Okay. Yeah, so obviously that was in Gear Refill style. Okay. This one I don't mind it as much because the spikes do give you a trigger here, right? So I don't fully mind this as much. Again, it's not ideal because yeah, of course you have to use Recall to you know get to live basically. And as Genji, if
Yeah.
he's smart, could finish you off. So yeah. Okay. This is relatively okay. Don't mind this, sure. Okay. Okay. Sure. Nice 2v1 in that Tracer. No re. I like it. Playing in our LOS, not being greedy here. Sure. Sure. Okay. So there is like one place you can path or get a really good angle, and that's hard for you to be forced out, but gives you great LOS, right? So we just forced out that Tracer V, right? Where could we play on Midtown?
Maybe the left side. The left side's got a pretty good angle and you have a decent
Hmm.
flank.
I like this a lot, right? We can again. This is what I was thinking of. We can see everything. We're hard to force out, and again, we can because we can see everything. We can force people out immediately, right? So this would be a nice place to play. To sort of again match out the backline. We're coming up to Pulse soon. That could be nice. What actually else could we play as well?
Well, I guess the trace is being forced out here, so she won't be that much of an issue. So I could probably play where she was and
Yeah,
stay here.
right. So you can take her space entirely, right? And again, you get that information, you get that full information in entirely because again, after this wall breaks, you can see the entire enemy team here. Of course, you're gonna need to be a little bit sneaky about this, but I think you can be sneaky about this because they can't see you. You're they're LOS, right? So you can sit around them essentially. The key thing here that I want to look for is again how active are we in forcing up their Genji Tracer? Do we know where their Genji Tracer's at? And how good are we at forcing them out is kind of the big thing. So see how this plans out as a result. I think the Wu Yang orbs are a little bit problematic here maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. They can shoot forced out. Yeah, so again, it's just our pathing. Our pathing's awful, to put it bluntly. Because we're having to like look at this. We're trying to traverse straight into open space against the Wu Yang, who can see us. You know, like I can see you're trying to reach your backline here, but again, path around him, right? Which is a bit difficult to do because this is open to be fair, right? But either go right side or wait for your hands, right? Wait for your hands to go into the Wu Yang, and then you can go in afterwards, right? So the Wu Yang's not looking at you because this is just bad pathing otherwise. So yeah, not ideal. And now we're like literally doing nothing. And
Yeah.
zoom out. This right, you know, like this is scary. This is now thankfully Yusochi's got hands, so the Tracer gets headshot and she gets down to 1 HP here. Oh, you could be here right now. You could have been here. You know, you could have just dig that Tracer, get the melee, get that kill right, and then go into the Wu Yang afterwards. That could have been quite nice, or just force up their recall, right? And not to mention the thing I said about earlier the entire time. Why do you have the advantage taking the stool here? Had you been here or gone right side instead, and not gone main? Why have you got the advantage here?
Uh, I have the other rest of my team. She's coming into us, so I have the backup if needed.
Exactly,
And
right?
she's got not great LOS of her team.
Exactly. Her LOS is awkward at best, right? It's very awkward. Whereas you've got Kiri, Mercy, and Soch. You're completely chilling here, right? You're the guardian, basically, for your backline, for your Soch, right? You're the first line of defense. But right now, we are shooting a Has with armor. This is, as you can imagine, not particularly where we want to be. As he just passes us, and now again, this is bad pathing, right? We're going straight onto Wu Yang in front of him. Okay, can we dodge wave? No, we can't, right? So, again, unless you hear wave entirely, like you hear that CD being forced out, you need to keep the blink for wave. This is actually fine so far, right? This blink, I wouldn't mind if it's like to hear a little bit more, that could be okay. But so far, I need that blink for wave. Right? We greed it for the melee, right? Now, Infinity is 1 HP, right? I think that blink melee isn't as bad. But, again, I need to be really confident confirming the kill. Otherwise, he's going to wave you, as he does right now. And you're going to die or get your reforced out. Again, that's why dodging the wave is really important. So, yeah. Again, partially a pathing issue here as well, again, right? Because we have to use 2 blinks to reach him, which is not ideal. Now we're fighting him with
Yeah.
1.25 blink. So again, had we had 2 blinks here fighting him, or 2.5, right? We probably are fine here the entire time. Mechanically,
I just saw that the hazard was engaging, so I thought the Wu Yang was kind of alone. This is my only chance.
Right, and it's kind of a dominoes thing because you're already in a bad position. Again, you're having to use bad cooldowns. You're having to use 2 blinks to reach the Wu Yang. Whereas again, we could have been right here the entire time. We could have been here. We could have been here. Right, it's all staging and pathing. That's all it really is. But yeah, okay. All right. See here. It is really unfortunate that you got the first person to die. Okay. Okay. Waste of spikes there, I'm not gonna lie.
This is just a battery call.
Probably die, yeah. And just literally stage around or just leave. That's one of 2 things. Nothing crazy. Okay, we'll see here. Okay. Oh, be careful. Oh, okay. I don't mind that the yellow has to go in first, no deflect.
This, I think, I was just thinking I'm gonna just look for a stick, but I'm not really thinking properly because their Curie will just have Suzu anyway.
So
And then
yeah.
I just I think I just decide not to, and then it comes to the point where I'm just in a bad position now.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if you get your refill style again, right? So again, it's like,
Yeah.
with Pulse Bomb Micro, the big thing I say is, before you throw out the Pulse Bomb, you need to know roughly where the enemy team or the enemy player is going to be moving to. 3 to 4 seconds, ideally. If not, a little bit, that's fine. But you need to know where they're going to be moving before you even throw out the Pulse. Here, we just don't know. Because, A, you're not giving yourself time to analyze the Wu Yang's movement here at all. You've got no idea where it's going to be moving to potentially, right? Generally, backwards is the only thing that you have. It's kind of the first thing. And the second thing is, of course, the pathing, the cover, right? We're going to get a reforced out because of this. Because, again, we have really bad pathing. Like, this is really, like, ugly. Oh my god, we're going to get forced out here. Yeah, there we go. Like that. You know? Like, this is just a massive pathing issue. Once more. Where could we have gone to instead? What could we have done here instead?
Firstly, just not blink in. I can just walk around towards where like my hazards. But
Yeah?
you know that their hazards hold them to stairs. So maybe that wouldn't be smart. So maybe I just go towards the tracer on the right side.
Yeah, go towards Tracer, you can stand up here, and you got literally the Mercy can see you right now. You can just do nothing, right? Shoot the Genji with the pocket, right? Shoot the Genji with the pocket, force him out a little bit, then go to the right side, see if you can force up Tracer here. That's all fine. Again, you should have the advantage there because your Kiri, your Mercy, and your Soch should be able to see you once you get to here. Yeah, this is all fine. Right? Just be a little bit slower, a little bit more thoughtful, right? Look at the Genji, look at the Tracer, look at who you can shoot at, look at the Mercy beam, right? Analyze your surroundings before you go in. But yeah, really not great. Okay. Like that, I'm not even going to talk about that. That there was very questionable. It literally went into open space. Literally went into open space, and right now we're getting 1v2'd once more by Genji Tracer. That's purely out of our own doing because we blinked right into their space. Out of our own, Sojo LOS and Mercy LOS, which is obviously not great. And as I said beforehand, when you start panicking, all your micro goes out the window, as it does right now. So, not great. Yeah, you could have seen that coming.
Yeah.
I just realized as well, your name is no brain AI aim, which is actually kind of funny because I would say you are kind of exemplifying the every trait about that
Yeah.
no brain, all aim playstyle.
Did it for a reason.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. C, yeah. Okay. So just again, dodging their Kiri. So she dies. And now we're too late now. Like we had a serious opportunity there when Sojourn popped the OC. But now it's just too late. It's a big spike zone maybe. Sure. I don't really mind recalling that. That's okay. I'd leave. Sure. Okay. Fortunate. Fine. Sure, the blink. So honestly, nothing crazy there from cover-wise. I think the cover there was okay. Only small thing there was when you're fighting the Kiri. Could maybe blink there a little bit more passively into the Kiri. Like around about here. That's obviously very awkward, but you blink past it, that's fine. Shooting the clip's fine. And I was thinking more so, like, again, this blink actually is fairly okay. Again, Tacoma Taxi's fine there, and Force Up Genji's even better, so that's okay. Nothing crazy, I think, again, your blinks are all okay. Fine. Sure. Neither's okay, because Genji's one. Sure. Yeah, that's all fine. Okay, sure. Okay. I'm sure. Okay, why? How come? Who should he go on here? Tracer or Wuyang? And why?
I think the Tracer just used recoil, so she's kind of a free kill. The Wu Yang has most of his cooldowns and he's full health.
Yeah, right. So I think try and force at the Tracer if you can. Either again, force you choose to use recoil, right? So either kill her entirely or force it to leave. Either one's fine. Then you can go for the Wuyang. That's kind of the important thing. Again, I don't hate if you go Wuyang here. Again, it's just to me that the person that's most accessible right now is the Tracer because she's half HP with no re. Instead of the Wuyang.
I think I just lost her.
Yeah, that's probably why. That's probably why. And then of course the scripts here aren't great. Okay, what is this? So once we see that we get shots into the Wuyang, we currently have 16 bullets left in our clip. This is not obviously ideal, right? Most of the clip's gone by the time we're actually dueling the Wuyang. So again, it's just not even panic. It's just like I feel like it's rush. You're just very rushed because obviously you haven't got spawn advantage here. One of your teammates are dead, and you kind of need to kill the Wuyang now. Otherwise, they're gonna come back and kill your entire team. Probably why this is happening. So yeah, of course, Tracer just take time, right? I thought that's what you're doing here, right? You blink backwards. You can see the enemy Tracer, right? You got a wide LOS. I thought that's what you were doing by doing that. I thought it was pretty good. You just lost track of the Tracer there, sadly. Pulse is okay. I actually don't mind it, even though you miss it. The blinks there, I don't like though. What are these blinks? So okay, where can you move to from here?
Just went right side towards the payload more and just get a wider angle.
Sure, that could be okay. Where else did you move to?
Can I see the initial position? It's not great, but seeing as how the Kiri has an LOS on me here, I could blink behind the Wu Yang and just have this wall next to us.
Sure. What about going through here and picking up the mini?
I don't know if did I have the blinks for that?
I think got one
maybe
blink.
yeah, because I had one before.
You got 1.5 blinks right now, so I think one blink to here, and then walk. You got a little bit cover to use, and then get this. Walk to the mini pack. You'll get another blink, of course, because of the perk, and then of course you'll get a blink there in time, just naturally as well. So that's another place you can play to as well, is going over here and trying to play for the mini. But again, blinking is fine. I don't mind that. Blinking back to staying here is fine as well, right? Like you don't need to fall. I see this all the time. don't force a play if you don't need to, right? Again, that Trace is dead. We're forcing a play right now into the Wu Yang because we're out in open space picking 3 people at once, right? Chillax, you haven't got the Tracer Wu Yang into the enemy team. It's something that I see all the time with Tracer duels as well, right? Where one Tracer will force the enemy Tracer's to recall, and afterwards, what they'll do is they'll chase really, really deep into the enemy Tracer's team to try and get that kill, and then they themselves get their reforced out. I see it all the time. But yeah, just take a chill pill here, basically, right? You force the Wu Yang out. The Tracer's dead right now. You're fine. You're okay. You can look at the Wu Yang's backline. Fine. Blink away into the quick CNA. That's okay. Sure. Do the Genji here. I don't know why we're shooting Hazig when he's armor when it's clearly a Genji that we can shoot here, right? How come on you aren't shooting the Genji here?
I think it just had bad positioning, and I was just shooting at whatever I could shoot at. It was just bad target priority.
Yeah, I mean, the things I say about target priority are literally just who's easy to force out and who's dangerous, right, or threatening. And right now, Genji is easily both of these. I'm more than the Hazard. So yeah, obviously going for the Genji. I think maybe again you're a little bit spooked because he was dueling you earlier. But yeah, tip there's not great. So we get forced out again. Yeah, not ideal. And again, if you want to force out the Genji, right, play wide. Play the police car. Play even here over here if you really need to, right? Play wide. Play this mini, and you can even outmaneuver him if you really want to, right? You can go past him. Again, I wouldn't suggest that because that means that you can go for your backline, right? But there's options there against the Genji, is my point. Okay, we'll see here. Oh, it's already lost. Oh yeah, bruh. Unlucky. Okay, we'll see a little bit of defense here. And I'll do a quick summary at the end. Okay. Sure. Down, that's okay. Fine.
This is where I just decided to hold this space and not let them come through, but
that's
I think
okay.
they both just decided to be your main.
Yeah, right, so that's fine. You can this is fine to hold them off, right? But again, scout them out is the important thing because these guys are gonna try and outmaneuver you. It's the key thing. They're gonna try and play spaces where you can't see and try and move around you. So you need to be able to catch that in time. Again, if they go right side, you can double blink over here and you'll get to here. That's fine. We'll see what you do. Okay, your hazards to go apparently. You don't overtly agree with this. Look at your Haz. Your Haz being a little bit greedy, but that's okay. The Tracer fine, or the Genji rather, that's fine. Okay. Okay. Sure, nice clip, really good clip. Really good clip. Sure. Okay. I don't hate this. Okay, yeah, we're very static here, so this is all fine. Right, because again we're forcing out the hands in the Genji. So you've got a really good clip onto the Genji, forcing out that's fine, then it's okay, right? All good. But now, what is the Genji Hazard doing?
They're just taking space, and I'm just like sat there letting them take it.
Right, so they're outmaneuvering you, or out-rotating you, as some coaches like to call it. So if I back it up here.
I had an idea that because I'd seen them both walk past, so I thought maybe I could just go on supports from here.
Right.
But then the Wu Yang is just scary to fight in that position.
Right, and this is where flexibility comes in. So
yeah.
I've drawn these two boxes here. Right, and the idea here behind this is the blue team will move out the blue box, whereas you're going to stay in your box. And this is to show dynamic versus static positioning. So we're going to see here what happens with results. Okay, you do go out of your box a little bit, but general idea. Okay. 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 Now we're starting to move, right? So now we're starting to do stuff. This is fine what you're doing right now, roughly, right? But again, we could have gone. Where could we have gone?
I could have gone to the spot I went to just in a couple of seconds a lot earlier, but I could have just played more passive towards where the soldier is, but just hold like to the right of the truck.
Yeah, right, this could have been okay.
Just I can force out the Genji, and I can also have a decent sightline on the supports.
Yeah, right. This could be okay. It's not something I genuinely suggest because they're very close to you and the Ruin can splash you around cover. It's not exactly my first go-to. I think again the hit over here would be ideal because again you've got options here, right? You can still force out that Genji and path around him, right? Where still and you can also go for the backline, right? You've got flexibility with how you want to play this. So yeah. But yeah, again, I think you let the Genji walk forward here, which is my main point of concern. Thankfully, again, your Sojourn's got hands and kills their Genji. But yeah. This is a lot better though. This is much better. As can't match you, Genji's dead, can't reach you. Only thing there's is Wu Yang. The Wu Yang shots there. So again, you can drop off it, right? You can drop off it and play the cover behind it, right? And you'll be fine. So yeah, that's kind of the main micro against Wu Yang. You can also, what can you blink to from here? So dropping off is one of those options, right? Where else could you go? Could you go from here?
I can go to the left a bit more, like where that bus station is.
Yeah, that could be great. Probably the best case to go to, right? You can still keep your angle, good cover. You dodge the tracer and the hat here as well. Yeah, that's fine as well. I don't mind that. Okay. If you're really clever, you might want to go here as well. You even double blink over here.
I do, but I just went the other way around.
Ah, okay. We'll see here. Ah, yeah. That's fine. Sure. Nice. Fine. Okay, cool.
I think I just retake my spot.
Yeah. Alright, we'll see. Yeah. Has shoot a little bit. Fine. Okay. I need to move, right? So this is the time to move, right? So we saw... Yeah. This is really important. Really important. So... Oh, I see their Genji. I see their Wu Yang. I see their hands, right? I know where they're playing, right? This, when you peek like this is the time to move, right? This is the visual cue. This is like, oh shit, I've already seen their hands and the Genji make a move. I need to move right now, right? This is not where I want to be staying right now. On this sort of like left side by the train, because I'm gonna get outmaneuvered, right? By the Genji and the Has. Just you stay a little bit too long for comfort. Now we move here, that's good at least. I'm just wondering where that Genji and the Has is. Yeah, okay,
Tracer isn't building, the Has came back.
So like, I'm not sure if that Tracer just reached you, which should probably live from last fight, that's fine. But that Genji just outmaneuvers you entirely. And not ideal. Not ideal. I'm looking at where else he could have done here. Backing up a little bit more. Okay. Yeah, like the way your Has moves here, right? Like, you can see how your Has is matching their frontliners. This is called stuffing, which is what tanks do. You can do a similar thing here, again, either by that Genji or by their Wu Yang, because he's split right now. So I think you are actually engaging into the Wu Yang here as a result. Yeah, that's fine. Sure. Oh, go left, not right. No, you get your angle now, right? So like, what makes you go right side here, not left?
I think I just did it out of instinct. I saw the Has was next to me, so I just blinked back towards my team.
Right, so...
I think I was in the position to live, so I could have just kept focusing.
So I like calling these spaces aggressive but safe, right? Where you are aggressive because you can still aggress into the Wu Yang, but you're safe actually, because no one can force you out if you're playing by the bus, and no one can. You can blink away even more if you really need to. But yeah, because now we're playing not even passive. We're playing... Also, we are playing passive here. We're not even safe, right? We're not even playing passive and safe. This is dangerous, because now we're out in open space. With 2 blinks. Not ideal. Okay. We pop around them, thankfully. Somehow. Sure. The blink, I like it. Sure. Okay, not bad. Nice. Sure. You can recall that, that's fine. Okay, nice. Alright. We'll do a quick summary here, and I'll answer any questions you may have at the end too. We'll use this wall. Cool, yeah. Okay. First thing, God. I'm gonna say pathing. I'm gonna say pathing. For flexibility. And what I mean by that is... slash option. And what I mean by that is having the ability to match frontline safely, or to go for backline eventually. And I think we saw some good options there throughout the second point attack, where again we could have gone when you were dueling the Genji earlier, when again 1v2'd, you could have gone by the little central pillar. Could have gone even earlier than that. You could have just double blinked to the Genji and forced them out from the high ground. There is another example. The other example here as well, like the little, like this thing, right? Using this to give you information, and then you could have gone here, and this gives you flexibility because you can force up their front line while giving the ability to reach backline eventually. So that's what I mean by flexibility. There, it's pathing with options, and almost like playing it in a disciplined way. Because again, you're still, when you're running ranged comps, you still want to be in that mindset, that template about not avoiding 1v2s. It's kind of the big thing. Avoiding 1v2. And actually, that's kind of, I'm gonna make that the second point. Actually, it's your mentality when dueling. So again, I need to see a few things here. Also, kill blink melees. Saw that one was the tracer earlier on second point attack. The mentality behind 1v2s as well. The second you realize you are at a disadvantage, you need to leave. Ideally, still keep your angle though if you can. And what else? And also having time to not, or to avoid panic. And again, cover and distance will do that for you. Similar to that Genji example. Once more. And then, last thing, also okay. Timing was fairly okay. Thinking right now in my head. I'll say like Tero specific micro. So again, the Wu Yang wave is really important to dodge. Plus Suzu for pulse. Dash on Genji. And also forcing points where you can. Playing for that disruption bit. Well. Those are the three things I'd say overall. I'll say a little bit of truth spin here too. Right, a little bit some shots went to thin air, but I think that's again partially because of panic. Those are the key three things. I think when you're dueling, I really want more time. Again, we saw in second point attack, right? Another example of what I mean by that is right over here, right, where you were dueling the Genji here, and then you blinked into, or the Wu Yang rather, and you blinked into the Wu Yang and got forced out immediately. That's where I want time, right? Because it feels very rushed when you're going onto the Wu Yang. And I think these moments here, these little moments, right, where you're able to look around and again doing an action, looking around, these little moments here to regain awareness are really, really important. So able to not panic and take a chill pill, basically. Another practical tip too is that when you're in the recoil animation, because the recoil animation lasts a seconds, you can use that second of time to think about your next move when you're in your recoil animation. Every dive character in this game has downtime you can think about to use for thinking, right? So recoil on Trace is one of them. Invis on Sombra, deflect on Genji, blocking on Haz, DMing on Diva. Every single dive character in this game has some kind of downtime in their cooldown kits that allows them to think and regain awareness, and that is an example on Tracer. But yeah. Any questions, clarifications, points, questions, queries, things like that?
I think maybe just like, what would you say would be a good way to, across all your games, just think before you make decisions? Like, because a lot of the time, like in this game, I don't really think a lot. I don't get like I don't have the brain to process everything in the time. What would be a good way to like some bullet points to think when you're playing to get some
Yeah,
good
right.
information?
So the first thing is like understanding what your job on the character is, what your general mindset on the character is. Because before you even load up into this game, you should have already known, or rather, not even that, right? But the second you saw the comp, you should have known. Okay, I'm gonna get 1v2 to their flank. I can't go for deep flanks unless I've got pulse. I need to force up their frontliners so my soldier's gonna be safe. All of that I just said right there needs to be in your head or partially processing the second you see that comp, right? That should already be in your head, and that should already be your mindset when you're playing into this comp over here, right? For example, second thing is again time or LOS to look around, right? So again, that example on the second point high gun there, right, to assess the situation would have been great. A second or two is all you really need. But the key thing there is again, and giving the time to look at the enemy team is important for that. Because that can make you make a better decision, right? It helps you make a better informed decision. If you looked at the Wu Yang there on that Glacial High Grounds, right? If you looked at the Wu Yang, you probably aren't going to double blink in, get every 4-star immediately. Probably. You're probably going to blink over here, and then shoot their tracer by giving yourself more time, and then path on right side. Or you're going to literally shoot the tracer from here, and then wait for your hands to go in, and then maybe you can drop down a little bit. Maybe then you can make a little bit more of an aggressive play if your hands are taking some space, right? But the point being is that you're going to be more disciplined and more, yeah, you're going to be more disciplined and less rushed, basically, by taking a little bit of extra time. But I guess the key thing is like, if you don't, because you haven't got time to think about the game entirely, right? And that's where that job role or mindset thing comes in, because this should help you or subsidize a lot of the thinking processes, right? The second you see a 1v2, I'm out of there. Immediately, I'm out of there. The second that you realize that I'm really deep in the enemy team, and my soldier can't see me, you're probably not aligned with your job or your role. Or the second that you see their Genji Tracer are out, then you can start reaching for backline. And things like that, basically. But hopefully that answers your question there, mainly.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Other things, questions, queries, other things as well?
No, I think that's it.
Coolio. Well, if you do think of anything, do feel free to DM me. I'll try and answer those questions or queries for you as well. Barring that, good luck in your games, and I'll also get this session. I'll record this session too